And that job back to bunker. Okay, I just want to say a thank you to everybody that helped make this happen. I mean, this has come together in 2 weeks. So I made a joke about the fishes and the loaves at the mountain and how we turned that into a party that you see today. We did move it in at the last minute, and of course, because we did that, it's not going to rain. There's too many people to thank, but just a few that obviously helped out enormously with this. Sarah, Amy, and who else is in here that I can... Karen was there, and make sure you sign the pillows in the back, by the way. I did actually leave instructions to sign the back, not the front, but of course nobody paid attention to that, so Mary will be enjoying all the signatures. All the youth group for helping to put the decorations together, please. The flowers. And of course, Ellen for corralling the youth group. They were mostly here at 8:30 this morning, which I don't know if you understand how big a feat that was. And Steve and Andy for televising this event and this right now, and he's going to tell me I'm standing in the wrong place.
Too close.
Yes, okay, thank you. Why don't you move the camera, thank you. Okay, I'm done with my part. I'm sure I've missed somebody, but the entire vestry, thank you, everyone that helped out, really appreciate it. There's still plenty of food to grab afterwards, but I've got one thing before I go. I have in my hand a proclamation, and I'm not going to read the whole thing.
Surprise!
But this, at the Township Committee meeting of the Township of the Chathams this Thursday, the Deputy Mayor will be reading into the official log a proclamation that today, July 11, 2021, has been declared Reverend Mary Davis Day. So I urge everyone who is able to come to the Township Committee meeting on July 11th. I think it's 6:30. It'll be the first order of business to show your support. I think Mary also gets to say a few words. Now, you might be wondering, well, why not the borough? That's a good question. We gave the borough the same opportunity, and so far they haven't responded yet. So if anyone has some connections to Thaddeus or team, John Bennett, it must hold some sway, come on. We would encourage them to do the same thing. So the entire Chathams, you know, I mean, I live in the township, so as far as we're concerned, there is only one Chatham, but it would be nice if we get the entire Chathams to come along with us as part of the process. And I did send Thaddeus a copy of the Township Proclamation, just in case he needed a little bit of support of this. Anyway, I'm going to hand over to Jed, who just filled his mouth with food. So I'm going to stall a little bit. And then after you're done, Jed, if you can hand over to Eric.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We spent some time on the vestry debating what we could give Mary as a going-away gift. And we debated things like rocking chairs for the porch of her new home. But in the end, we felt nothing says I love you like cold, hard cash. I wanted to bring a giant cardboard check this morning, but Eric said, you know, that's going to make this seem like kind of a game show. But I am going to say, we've got some lovely parting gifts for you. I am amazed at all the contributions that have come in. If anybody is still missed some of the emails and wants to continue to contribute, I won't cut a final check yet. You can merely mail in a check to St. Paul's and mark it from Mary's purse. But on behalf of a thankful and appreciative church, I am so pleased to present you with the amount of $8,000 for your travels to Tennessee.
Thank you so much.
And now I'm going to turn it over to Eric, who's going to say a few words.
Give it short, Eric.
Good morning. Thank you, Simon. Thank you for organizing this in the short 2 weeks and everybody else that was part of it. And thank you, Jen. You've been absolutely fantastic, not only over the last several years as treasurer, but also during this transition period, which we continue to work through. So thank you. My name is Eric Leininger. I'm the senior warden. I don't know for how long now, but it's been a bit, and it's been an absolute honor. And I'm pleased to be surrounded by a lot of very strong women. I know you think this might be talking about Mary, but actually it's my wife who made me write this morning. So I listened to her, and then she actually chased me down to my office later. So I normally do this off the cuff, but I'm actually going to do this here. Now, one thing I am going to talk about, and I know is on all of your minds, is what happens next. So the first thing is we have a party. So let's enjoy this as much as we possibly can. And I will say this again, but one of the things I put in this written form is that this is not only a sending off, but it's a coming together again. For those of you that don't know, and Sam was very helpful to remind me, yeah, that's you. Yeah. The last time we were here was March 7th of 2020. So thank you for being there then, and thank you for being here today. And as Sam also said, it feels exactly the same. Not at the speech. We will transition into something that is probably a priest in charge. That basically means that we will most likely forego what is traditionally done at this point, which is a search committee. And the reason for that is, I don't see Beth here. Oh, I now see Beth. And I were talking before that there are just fewer candidates out there. So 20 years ago, you could run a search committee and there might be 150 candidates. More recently, Grace Church did a search, and Mary, you told me the numbers was like 4 or 5 people that they turned up nationally. Now they did get the person that is a rector now at their church, who sounds absolutely fantastic, but there are just fewer candidates. And so Jim Mallow has graciously both, come to me right away, put his hand up first, and wanted to lead the transition committee, as it's called, where he will lead the definition, discernment of what we want to do coming up. So do not be surprised if he and or Frank, who gave an absolute wonderful speech today, will be part of that committee. And they will be, oh, there you go, Frank. Hi. Great job. Snuck up. Oh, thank you. We'll be recruiting for that, and we'll want to have the generations who will want to have the next priest run their funeral, run their marriage, or run their baptism. So look forward to being part of that. And we'll use the diocese as our sort of HR function, and they will present candidates that we think, or they think, will be good fits. And if they're not, then it'll be my job. And Mary, I think you can confirm that I do this well, say no if they don't fit. So that's kind of what next steps are. And the transition process should ideally go a little bit smoother. In the meantime, we have Ellen. Where are you? Ellen? I saw you. Hi, Ellen. And as Frank said, we are in a less difficult position now, and we are a really great, trusting community congregation. So a little bit now about you, Mary. So Moses, the most important prophet of Judaism, and one of the very important prophets of Christianity, Islam, and many other Judean religions, led his people out of a difficult period and into the land of milk and honey. You definitely have led us from very dark days amongst the worst of this church. And through it all, your work was tirelessly godly. And by that, I sort of mean that it was very obvious to see everything that you did, God was working through you. And I sort of went through and looked at a few of Paul's sermons, and he often talked about how God moved through us. And looking a little bit further, I did find something in Corinthians that I thought kind of fit the theme, and that no test or temptation that comes your way is beyond the course of what others have had to face. All you need to remember is that God will never let you down. He'll never let you be pushed past your limit. He will always be there to help you come through it. Thank you for helping us come through it. And I am sure you will also be coming through it for years to come. I will have you know that Moses himself was rumored to live 120 years. So, look, it's been an absolute honor and pleasure to work with you as much as we have worked together with you and with the vestry, with the church, everything else. Like, Joe, you're here. Oh, the Exxon thing is still going on, right? So there's all kinds of stuff that I'll send you the legal documents. But you, and this is the personal side, I think this is from Connie. She made me note that if you look for Ethan, who's my middle child, and Kira, who's my youngest, that you Google them, you'll find their photo, one of each, in church with you, right? You've absolutely been the bedrock foundation and a big part of our life. Thank you. I think that stands for a lot of other people at this church. And you've been not only my leader, but my teacher. And I think one of your most prosaic, I wrote that down here, prosaic, statements is you would say something like, you're not coming to church, which you never said. And that's okay. That's sort of your mantra, and I think it captures so much in one sentence that's so godly. And that is, it captures empathy, because you verbally state what is happening with that person, or me in the case. Acceptance, forgiveness, and hope. Right? And this is the right time. And it's okay. I know it's very emotional, but we're heading, all of us, in the right way. And so, today we stand on the mountain change. You will be leaving our region, right? But you are forever with us, right? You have built this church to be an amazing temple of love, support, and hope. You have also been able to you will be able to visit us easily through the gifts of the amazing leadership that you had during COVID, and Steve and Simon put together in Facebook Live, to visit us whenever you can. Last paragraph. We all have profound thanks, love, understanding, and hope for you and your family. This has been such a wonderful 10 years that you have given us. Again, it is an honor. We are excited for you and know that you will have many wonderful adventures ahead for you and your family. Thank you for all that you have done for us. God bless you and your family. Thank you.
Okay, yes. So I have to say I did not prepare anything because I put all that I had into the sermon. So please feel free to review that. Because that's really, you know, I am not usually long on words. I cannot step away without thanking Joe Lavella for coming back, driving all the way from Michigan to be here for today, and he'll be driving back, and we pray your safe travels on the way home. And Bert Ray for being here too, coming from Maryland. So my former wardens, and just how grateful I am that you all were here to celebrate these 10 years. I do have to laugh because my picture is on the wall out there with the other rectors. You'll see when you walk in, and I was always opposed to having my picture on the wall. Amy will remember this. I hated the idea of having my picture up there. But then Lori DiBiase said, "Look, Mary, the longer you stall, the older you look." She said, "Go ahead and get it done now." So thanks be to God for Lori DiBiase and her wisdom, because yes, I've aged in the past 10 years. And thankfully that picture on the wall shows a much younger me. So I will forever be grateful to be on your wall with keeping that in mind. And the other thing I want to tell you is it took me a long time to come into this, oh my gosh, hi, to come into this room and to join you in the party. And the reason for that is because we have stories together. Every single one of us has a story. And it was so amazing to be able to share a story with each person as you went through the line like that. And so I am so grateful for all of those stories, and my hope and my prayer for you all is that you'll continue to share those stories with one another and then with whoever comes after me. So just think of this place as a place of stories. And a place of young pictures on the wall. Just seriously, I cannot thank you enough for sharing your lives with me enough that we all have shared stories. I am so grateful. And I also, whoever came up with the idea of the Tennessee cookies and cupcakes, that's amazing. That made my heart sing, seeing those cookies. They're beautiful. So thank you all so much for your love, your support, for your care. For hospital visits, and you know, the one story I have to share is when my family was in Spain visiting my middle son who was doing his semester abroad there. They went to Spain. My doctor said, "Don't go, it'll be catastrophic if you go." He said, "Just don't do it, don't make the trip, you're not strong enough." So I didn't. So I stayed home alone and started to really look forward to a whole week alone, you know, in my home. And then I got sepsis and got violently ill, and Allison had to show up for me and go to my home, which was unlocked, and go rifle through my underwear and pajama drawers to find supplies for me because I was all alone. And so
No, you weren't.
I wasn't, but you know. So thank you for all of you who have visited me in the hospital and who have been with me during some pretty rough times. So that's all I just have to say thank you. Thank you.
That's it. 8.